Good afternoon, and welcome to another installment of Collective Conversations. Today we have a very special guest. Today on the plate we have Miss Cydney Thomas. Miss Thomas is a talented professional artist and owner of Madame Portrait LLC. She holds a Bachelors of Fine Arts degree from West Virginia University. Come listen to Cydney discuss her journey as an artist, her passion for portrait art, and how she built her business. Good afternoon, Miss Cydney. How you doing today? I'm
Good
sorry.
afternoon. No problem. You can call me Cydney. Good afternoon. How are you guys?
Wonderful. Wonderful. So today we'll just start off by, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
So yes, my name's Cydney. I am 27. I have two kids and a Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree from West Virginia University, like you said, and I own a painting business.
Okay. So already off the rip, we like to hear a young individual already owning their own business owner. Currently 27. At what age did you start your business?
I want to say I was around 22, 23.
Oh, yeah, so you've been running a business for quite a while now. Is that
Yes,
something you enjoy?
I do. I love it a lot. I meet a lot of different people. It's we're not going to say time consuming, but it's dedication, most definitely.
So to start us off on the day, we'll take it back a little bit more.
Hmm.
So and little discussions that we've had, you kind of reveal like your love for painting and your love for art.
Right.
So can you kind of talk about a little bit how you started with that and how that passion came to be today?
So, the earliest memory I have of anything art related is I drew a picture of Minnie and Mickey Mouse, and my granddad made me color it in with the hardest, like, when you color a picture, you want to do it real soft, do the outlines hard, whatever. My granddad made me like color it in. The crayon was probably like this, and that was the jump start of the whole thing. Like that right there is set in stone that this is what was going to be.
Um, So I'm just speaking on style. What is your preferred or your first go-to method or preferred style?
So my style, I try to get as realistic as possible. I want my paintings or my portraits per se to look like a picture. I want to be the top level skill set pretty much.
Mhm. So you went to WVU.
Hmm.
Through other conversations, we kind of reveal some things with there. So I just want to ask so the watchers kind of know. Um, what was your experience while there, and did you start out taking were you in trying to get a bachelor's of fine arts to start with?
So no, actually, I went to school to be a lawyer because my family calls me the great debater, and I have something to say about everything. So I originally went to school to be a lawyer, and then I decided that's a lot of reading and a lot of things that I did not enjoy. So I did redirect my major and go for a bachelor's of fine arts degree.
Nice, nice. And I'm assuming you feel you made the right decision then.
Absolutely. I don't agree with the starving artist aspect of life. You got to get it how you live. I feel like if you hustle and do everything that you need to do, you can get there regardless. Granted, do I want to be a portrait artist alone? Absolutely. But everything takes time. And as long as I'm creating art, making art, doing art, I don't care how the art comes to me as long as that's something I'm able to do.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Love to hear it. So I'm business owner. That's big at 22. That's very big. So
Yes.
whenever you were getting towards the ending of your schooling, was that already something that you kind of had in mind, or did it just come about at a certain time?
So at the end of my schooling, I actually was pregnant with my daughter. So of course, like I just wanted to be able to just paint in my free time and do whatever, but obviously I can't do that with kids. It takes a lot of time. I need, my separate space between the two. So then I started working at this place called actually I started working at a place and I was a paint and sip host, and that was my first time being a paint and sip host. And I realized, like, you know what? Like, I could probably do this myself. Like, I don't have to necessarily work under anyone. And I feel like my granddad has instilled in me that I can be a boss within myself. Like, I don't have to be under anyone to do what I need to do.
So what was that like in the beginning? Like the trials and tribulations that you had when starting to. I
So
will say already how
starting,
you said. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yes, so starting my business, it was a lot of YouTubing. I had to do it by myself. Like, there's no one else that I know that technically works as a paint and sip instructor. And if you all don't know, the painting world is competitive. It's very, there's other paint and sip artists. You can hire any paint and sip artist, you know. So in the beginning, being 22, I was pretty much asking my family for money to help me out. Like, hey, I need easels, I need paint, I need all of this grand stuff. And they were definitely helpful and supportive with that, and spotted me where I needed to be spotted. But I feel like I've paid them back for that now, you know.
Mm. So painting sip host, what is that like? Are you the actual individual doing the painting, giving the instruction, wow, all that good stuff?
So I do it all. So from the start of the paint tip, like I sketch out. Unlike some paint tip instructors, I like for my customers to leave with an amazing painting. You do not leave a paint and sip that I host without liking your painting. Like, I will help you, I will fix it for you. But to start, I do sketch out all of my canvases first, so that they do feel like they are somewhat confident when they come in. They don't have to draw anything from scratch. It is there. You pretty much just have to follow my directions and color a picture per se.
And just so the viewers and all that know, go ahead and take a quick moment, shout out your business, things that you do, areas you work in, all that good stuff.
Okay, yeah. So my business is Madame Portrait LLC. I am a portrait artist and I am a paint sip artist as well. I host events a lot. I have at least five or so events a month, 5 to 6 events a month. You can check that out on my Facebook, which is also Madam Portrait. You can also check out my Instagram. I don't post on there often. Facebook seems to give me all of my people, but you can check me out there as well. It is also Madam Portrait. And then what I'm working on a fruit series right now. And of course, a Black History Month painting that I haven't started yet, but I have a lot of ideas for it.
Nice, nice. So like in your like personal regard outside of business, 'cause I did something that stuck out to me that you said was like having the kids, like kind of keeping certain things separate and all that good stuff. So like being that painting is already something that you love so much, is there a work-life balance there, or at times do you feel that you struggle there just because the two kind of intertwine so much?
So they do intertwine, but I have an amazing fiance and he helps me with everything that I need. So even with my paint sips, he's there for all the setups. I have my classes, call him Joshy Poo. He hates it so much, but you know, you got to keep it fun. As for at home, I have a 4-year-old that'll be 5 in March, and then I have a 1-year-old that just turned 1 in January. So pretty much nap time and bedtime, when they're asleep, I'm up to maybe 2, 3 sketching out canvases and so forth. And any other time, my daughter likes to paint with me, so I allow her to do that. But um, it is a very um, imbalanced, I would say, not too balanced. It's however it's going to work out that day. That's how we're going to get it done.
So speaking on once again, I want to pull back to like the business aspect. Like whenever you kind of decided and came upon like the paint and sip, at
Hmm.
that point in time, was there like an idea or thought of possibly down the line being like your own worker and boss? Was that already instilled? Or with that idea, was it kind of like, well, I know I got this in me, so I can make it happen?
Um, my honest answer, I realize that I like to work for myself. I like to do things my way and my way only. Um, I like to be the person that's in control. I don't mind to be under a team. I don't mind to, in a sense of outside of art. Outside of art, I don't mind to do whatever the what would you call it? Whatever the task is, I wouldn't mind to do that outside of art. When it comes to art, this is my world. I don't want to deviate from that. This is what we're going to do. So that's really how I became a paint tip artist. And then, too, when I was working at the establishment that I was working at, you know, when you're working under someone, you get a cut of whatever it is. So regardless if I'm teaching the class, painting the picture, giving the instruction, whatever the case may be, I'm still only getting a cut for, doing the work. pretty much. So
Mm.
once I realized that like I didn't need a business to do it, that was the turning point for me. Also, it was during COVID, so no one had anything to do. So when I started my business, I was making house calls because we couldn't go out. So me and my fiance would take the paint party to their house.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Y'all heard that? If you want a paint party at the house, man, man, Madame Portrait now.
Right, private party.
Hmm. So, kind of as I said a little bit ago, like I am an individual who started off like not too long ago as a hobby. I do a little bit of painting, and
Mm-hmm.
I like to I kind of you said YouTube. There are certain times that I'll find myself going on YouTube and trying to find like videos of an artist's thought process or where they may have got their inspiration and things like
Mm-hmm.
that for different paintings or piece of art that they've done. Is there anybody or artist or anything like you can say would be up there for people that you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say idolize, but that you reference when it comes to your own work?
To be honest, I don't have a favorite artist. The only two favorite artists that I have, I went to college with. And
Nice.
and if I'm not my favorite artist, I would only give it to those two people. And the one's name is Ruth Yang. She paints realistic pictures, more like traditional artwork is Mona Lisa per se. That's what you would compare the two. And then as for the other artist, her name is Maria Deely. She draws with colored pencils, but it is magazine worthy. So those two would be my favorite artists. Nobody that everyone raves over, and the Mona Lisa and all that stuff. No, we're gonna talk about artists today, and those would be my two artists that I would choose.
But there is absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. You know, keep it in house, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I hope those two individuals are doing good. Great. Is there any places where we can see art that you've done?
Yes, so my website is Madame Dash Portrait at Madame-Portrait.com. You can go there. I have a gallery there. You can also see my paint and sips, pictures of my paint and sips as well. You'll see some portraits I've painted via iPad or via oil paint because I am an oil paint artist strictly. My paint and sips are in acrylic paint simply for my customers, but I am a oil paint artist. Hmm.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe somebody told me that I think you were the individual that they named. We recently had a class over by the Multicultural Center in East Park.
Hmm.
Where we had an opioid prevention class, and there was a painting on the wall that very much intrigued me, and also like a dinner setting almost.
Uh-huh.
And I believe they had told me that was also one of yours. Hey, at the
Um,
time I hadn't met you yet, but I'm like, hey, if that's the case, that's nice. Can you see something? See what you're talking
um,
about.
to be honest, I'm not sure. Um, I don't know if that was mine or not, only because I don't think I have anything there.
Fair enough.
But
My bad.
no, you're okay. You're totally fine. But I do a lot of painting, so but if it was a dinner setting, I don't think that was mine.
Okay. Which I can say, all on my side too, I also could be wrong about, but that was looking
That's
cool. I was
You're all good. It's no biggie.
um on the portrait art, okay,
Yes.
is there like you've already kind of talked about acrylic, you already talked about oil paintings and stuff like that. Is there like any set thing that is like almost like standard? I know art is one of those
Like a
things that
must
can really
have.
get out there. Yeah.
So my must for a painting, the first thing I'm gonna grid on my painting. So if you don't know what a grid is, pretty much, in a coloring book when they have like the little grid thing and you're supposed to copy the picture using the grid. Okay, that method is my number one method, my go-to. I like precision, as I've said before, so that way when I do that, and yes, could I use a projector? Absolutely, but I would rather just draw it out, make sure everything is to my liking. And then after I do go ahead and use my grid, you want to make sure after you sketch everything out, so forth, you want to make sure that you have an undertone, whether that be burnt sienna or pretty much an undertone painting that is going to fit your main colors in your picture. So that is the number one every single time. If you don't gesso your painting or anything like that, you want to make sure that you do an undertone. You never want to paint on a blank canvas
I'm
or an
taking it
unprimed
all
canvas, I
in.
should
Okay,
say.
it's about to be nice. I'm taking it all in. On the side of like, for your own personal art, on the side of like color schemes, is there like, do you find yourself following like a certain trend, or sometimes artists, whenever they get into their style, like that's their style, it's easy to tell their style. Sometimes it's still a little bit of everything. Do you find yourself fall into a certain like color scheme and things like that, or you like to branch out?
So my professors used to say that I was a cubist painter. You guys will have to look that up. I'm not a cubist painter, and I wouldn't classify myself as such. My style is more so vibrant. Like, I don't want too many dull colors, and whatever color the picture is, it's going to be that color, but it's going to be the pure color of that hue or of that paint. It's not going to be grayed out or made brighter. It's going to be that exact color that comes out the tube mixed with the other exact color. It's not going to be um lighter or darker. It's going to be a very vibrant picture.
Nice, nice. So, through the things that you've done, being able to work with your hobby directly, um, do you think you could give some words of advice to like inspiring artists or younger individuals who say one day they like to be an artist, or even individuals who actively like make art right now or things like that just can't seem to get out?
My advice would be, do not depend on other people's opinions of your art. Other people's opinion does not value the work that you put into an art piece. It doesn't matter if Tom likes it, it doesn't matter if Harry likes it. It matters if you like it. And the people that like your paintings will buy your paintings. The people that don't value your paintings were never going to buy it anyway. So never base your paintings or your technique or your style or whatever the case may be off of one person saying too expensive, or I don't like that too much. It doesn't matter. Next customer. There's too many people in the world, and there's way too many art sets and art techniques, and I mean anything. You have to keep going. It does not matter if no one likes it. They don't have to like it. You have to like it. And that's all that matters. Like, you are here to create, and that's it.
That one. Which I mean, I'll say just thinking about myself and like art things that I've seen out there, I could
Hmm.
definitely see like it makes me think about things that I've said about art pieces in myself. One of them that I think in particular, you ever seen that picture where it's like a banana duct taped to a
Yes.
canvas? Like things like that. But that's like a very valid point where it's like, okay, on this side, I might find that to be something that's a little bit out there, a little bit crazy, or a person might not even consider that art. But real breakdown is what value does that artist put into there. So I think that is an amazing.
Yes. And speaking of the banana and the canvas, and I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure other artists as well, stick to your technique.
Fair enough. Um,
That's my answer for that.
fair enough. So on the side of the business themselves, Madame Portrait, how do you come up with that?
Madam Portrait. So I feel like my personality is, let's see, would say that my personality is very, like, I feel like I'm confident in what I do. So with that being said, I feel like that's where the Madam came from. I feel like this is who I am. I'm Madam Portrait. If somebody wants a painting, like, I don't live here anymore. I don't live in Oak Hill or Beckley anymore. I live in the Morgantown, Fairmont area. And I feel like I still have people from Oak Hill, Beckley, wherever, coming to me for their portraits or tattoos and so forth. So at this point, I feel like I'm the art lady. So I might as well be Madam Portrait. And that's where we came up with that.
Okay, and it is a great name. So speaking on like where you said you live more in the Morgantown area, is that primarily where you do your services, or do you branch out a good bit to do your parties and stuff like that, or events?
Um, yeah, I'm in Oak Hill, I'm in Beckley, I'm in Bridgeport, Fairmont, Morgantown. I can't even think of the other one. I'm a lot of places. I'm wherever anyone needs me.
All right. All right, good to know. So when you were coming up,
Mhm.
bringing it back just a little bit more, um, like in drawings and things that you would do when you were younger, and paintings and stuff that you may have did when you were younger, did you see your style that you primarily use now? Could you kind of see that back then, knowing it was going to be your style, or see yourself moving towards that type of style?
So actually, when I was younger, I started out drawing anime. I didn't even know it was like cartoon and stuff. I just seen it online and was like, oh, these look cool with the big eyes and stuff. Now, today, I probably would never draw anything like that. Um, Now today, I feel like I'm more realistic than anything. Paintings take me a lot of time because sometimes I don't like to start paintings because I know I can't get done. I need about an 8 hour window, like for me to have start a painting or for me to get going. I tell my fiance all the time, like, I'm gonna need like 6 to 8 hours, and it sounds insane, but those 6 to 8 hours are crucial. You can't, to me, I can't paint in 30 minutes or whatever, 30 minutes a day. I need the entire time, and I guess I can blame that on college. We had 3 hour blocks, so I was in a painting class probably 6 hours a day. So I was painting and painting and painting. So my art style definitely transitioned from being, I guess, novice to and self-taught to being a college, graduate.
So, when it comes to getting a Bachelor's of Fine Arts, um, what are some of like the specific classes that an individual might have to take if they were trying to go down and get a degree in that?
So most people think that, so I'll say like, yeah, I went to WVU. Oh, what did you go for? I went for art. They're like, oh, easy. Okay. So for example, I've had to create a shoe out of nothing but tape. There is no pencil. There is no anything, like an entire shoe out of nothing but tape. I also had to take I actually took a wine bottle and I had to make it blend in with the background. So you didn't even know that the wine bottle was there. So that was like a foundations class. I had to take a sculpture class where I was what do you call it? You know, welding metal together. I had to take a class like that. I had to use all the tools. I had to take a drawing class. We had to draw people in nude. We had to just draw all day. That's all you really do. But the assignments in itself, they are hard assignments. You can't just pull them out and do it the night before, like, some other majors where you can, get your homework done that same day. No, our homework, we have to actually do these assignments. We have to build stuff out of nothing. It is hard, but it is doable.
Being that you were an individual who liked art so much, were those times that you liked, or was it still like school? I'm getting judged. Well,
Actually, I love my critiques because again, I'm Madame Portrait, so I've always went in with a good with a good sense. But there are good students as well. Like there were people where I was like, I have to beat this one because she's really good. But as for like the classes, I feel like as a painter, sculpture I could have cared less about. It was kind of hard. The tools kind of scared me a little bit. I don't want to cut metal all day. It's not my type of thing. But I will say that like my drawing classes and my painting classes, love those. Great classes.
so was that in the drawing and painting classes, like kind of like different subjects, kind of like math? You got algebra, you got calculus. Do they get more specific? And if so, like which
Yes.
specified class was your favorite?
So my class, I had a figure drawing class. That's where we drew people, and you would get 3 minutes to sketch someone like this, and then you get 2 minutes to sketch someone like this. And the more you do that, the faster you get at it. But you'd have maybe 20 sketches, and then sometimes the models would come and they'd model for you for an hour, and you get an entire hour. And then that goes the same for my painting classes. If we weren't doing still lifes, which still lifes are a bunch of objects set up for you to either move this way and look at this still life and paint it, or look at it straight on and so forth. It's pretty much just a set of items that you can paint. With those, that's pretty easy. You just sketch those out and do what's there. Now the models, we also have painting models as well, and it gets a little bit more tricky because models do get tired. They do change position, and if you aren't actively paying attention, and you can't take photos during this time either because they are nude sometimes. So you have to be very quick with it. You have to have your sketch drawn out. The models do move.
Right. So, being that you had all this specified training going into school, was it like a hard thing for you to do whenever it came to switching from like novice to now I got to do it kind of in this manner or the things that they're asking instead of the actual things that I want to do?
Yes, there was actually a time in my, I don't know what year, maybe my sophomore year of college, and I loved that professor. He was great, and I did this painting and I loved it. It was a still life. It was set up, and I had like this peachy looking background. I worked overtime in a studio, went knocked on his office door, and I was like, "Hey, like look at this," and he told me like the background, it's not going to work, and I was just literally like, what do you mean? Like, what's wrong with it? And he was like, it's too bright. It's not right, whatever. And I just felt like, well, I sat here for all these hours. I called my mom and everything. Like, he doesn't like it. And I spent all these hours on here. And after I made my changes, I liked it more than I did before. But it is hard to be retaught something that you've been doing for so long.
Yeah. So, like whenever you were interacting with your professors, like I know you had already kind of said like at certain instances you did like some criticism that you did. Was there ever a time um where like professor gave a suggestion or said something that you just kind of like completely disagreed with and felt like it wouldn't add to your art? Because I mean, art is definitely one of them things that's like in the eye of the beholder type of thing.
I wouldn't say necessarily in college. I didn't have that too much in college. In high school, my art teachers and I totally disagreed with a lot of stuff, and I might have been um stubborn in those days. But I do feel like art is in the eye of the beholder, and I do feel like you can only judge on the given assignment. So when I went into painting tips, I went into painting tips because I don't, if they want to paint their background, let's say their background is supposed to be blue. If they want to paint their background purple, you have at that. I like painting tips because I'm able to teach and allow you the creativity to do whatever you want. You're here to be taught the painting, but if you happen to want to add stars to your background, I'm never going to tell you no. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I feel like.
The questions about the like the painting sips. So on the side of like you instructing the individuals, is it more? Do you find yourself? It's more of like, okay, this is how you do this, cater to this painting, or more of like a art. You got to move your hand like this, or you got to
Yes.
have this amount of finesse, or whatever it might be.
So, when I paint my pictures, I do each step by step. I do walk around with my painting. I do let them see how I'm doing it. I also tell them how to make their painting smooth. I tell them which way I'm holding my brush. I tell them which brush that I'm using and I also go around and show them if we're mixing colors. I also do go around and show them what color I have. I check colors if they want it to be checked. Whatever questions they have, I'm there to answer them.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, Being the artist that you are, which I know we can't really get a visual right now, but being the artist that you are, what is your favorite piece of art that you have?
My favorite piece of art. I would say that my favorite piece of art would be the still life that I did in college that I had to change my background on. That is, I feel like that's when I realized that you might can actually do this. Like, obviously, I knew that I could draw, that you could paint, whatever the case may be. But that painting was the painting where I was like, oh, yeah, I painted glass today. I can absolutely do this.
Mhm. So, as I kind of said, I've been trying to get a little painting in on the hobby side. And one thing that I had kind of told you whenever we had a discussion, my first painting was a little bit rough. My ones after that got a little bit better because my dad he had bought me a professional pair of paintbrushes. So like
Hmm.
I found that it definitely made a difference then. Do you find yourself like in your painting sips like does a certain level of material need to be used or are the materials provided? Do we need to bring things? Um, yeah, just like kind of speak upon like how like the materials. can make any differences?
So with paintbrushes, I can use any paintbrush because I'm kind of bad with this. I'll paint and then I won't rinse my brushes out. So I just buy a whole bunch of brushes all the time. I have probably over 500 brushes, to be honest. And sometimes I don't rinse them out. So paintbrushes aren't important to me, but canvases are important to me. Priming is important to me, and the type of paint is important to me.
So, on the side of like the materials and things like that, what is like the proper care? Because I mean, some people I've seen like rinse their stuff off while it's still wet. I've seen individuals let it dry, start peeling stuff off. Like on the cleanup side and the care of the materials that you have, what are your recommendations?
So since I use oil paint, you don't rinse that out with water. You actually have to use paint thinner. Um, just like Bob Ross in his paintings, he uses a lot of paint thinner. That's the way he's able to paint his pictures. Right. That's the way he's able to paint his pictures using oil paint because if you don't know, oil paint paints like spreadable butter. So if I was to paint something today and come back tomorrow, it's still going to be wet. I could still use that paint. Now, as for acrylics, if I paint something right now in 10 minutes or maybe 5, it's going to be dry. So depending on the paint that you're using, if you're using oil paint, you have to use paint thinner to clean out your brushes and so forth, or to thin paint out, whatever the case may be. As for acrylic paint, you can just rinse that out. Now, when you talk about peeling paint, if you're using a palette and you're using acrylic paint, you absolutely can let that dry and then just peel it off. Oil paint, it's there to stay.
Good to know. Good to know. I haven't dibble dabbled in any oil paints, but from the things you're describing, I think I'm gonna stay away.
Oil paint, to be honest, oil paint, I would suggest starting with oil paints. Oil paints are easier only for the simple fact that you're able to blend realistically. Like as for acrylic paint, you pretty much have to mix every color and do every color as you're painting it. You can't just, oh, I'm going to lay a color here and then lay a color here and come back and blend it. You can't do it that way. It's going to dry and you're going to be able to see a purple and a yellow instead of a purple and yellow combined. As for the oil paint, it's not going to dry and you're going to be able to blend those colors together right on your canvas.
Might need to switch it up and just learn something
You
new.
have to try it out.
Yeah. So for your beginners, your novice painters, or your individual, let's say your individual who never really painted before, and it's something that they've been thinking about or would like to get into, um, what do you kind of recommend? Just say like, here's the basic few initial things you should get. Might cost ballpark around here. You can do whatever type of painting you like with that.
So, if you're a beginner painter, so I'm gonna speak on oils only because I'm an oil painter.
Mhm.
Winsor and Newton, if you're gonna do oil paints, you are best to get a Winsor and Newton starter kit. They have those at Michael's. They can range, they're sometimes pricey, sometimes not. They can range between $40 and hundreds of dollars. It's totally up to you. Or you can get the little individuals. They can range from $6.99 to $20 ish. Um, you do want a canvas. So in college, I was taught you always want your canvas to be 2 inches off of the wall. So I don't get like the little skinny canvases that pretty much they sell at Walmart. You want to get a gallery wrapped canvas. A gallery wrapped canvas means that if you take this to a gallery, it's already 2 inches. You don't have to add a frame. You don't have to do too much to it. You can just put it on the wall and you're there. So I'm always going to recommend a gallery wrap painting. But I will say, if you are starting, you can start on anything. You don't have to start on the expensive canvases. You can start on Walmart canvases. I started on Walmart canvases. So you are more, but I will say that Michael's does have rewards. And the more that you go, the more that you're able to get back and use those coupons to do so.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me a Michael's card now. I'm learning a lot.
Yes.
Listen, I'm very much enjoying this. Okay. So in your personal opinion, okay, at what stage in your career of being an artist, say lifelong career, lifelong artist, at what point did you feel it was all right or appropriate for you to say, okay, I am a professional artist? Was it the
I
degree or was it something happen?
The degree definitely helps, but I feel like with the amount of people that come to me about their paintings or about their art ideas, and the opinions that they want from me, that kind of told me that this is what you're supposed to do. Like, if anything someone wants that's art related, they come to you for it. So yes, I will say that I think that I'm a professional artist. Like, I know that I'm a professional artist. I put the work in, I put the time in, I have the business for X amount of years. Um, but I feel like you can never stop learning either. I don't think that I am the greatest artist of all time. Um, I do think that there is learning curves. I do think that there's 1,000 things. Obviously, there's 1,000 things I still need to learn, considering that a banana was on a canvas and it sold in. You know, there are obviously, right, like there are things that could help me think out of the box, I guess you would say. But I feel as though this is what I was born to do, and I'm going to do it no matter if people help me do it, no matter if no one helps me do it. You guys will see me and my art somewhere at all times.
Absolutely. Um, let's see. On the side of your business, the paint sips. Okay, what's the
hmm
vibes like? We schedule a paint sip. We got an event plan. We come in. What's the environment like? What is the
So when
smoke
you
out
come
there? What's
in,
going on?
yes. So when you come in, all of your stuff will already be set up. You'll have your easel, you'll have your apron, you'll have your paintbrushes, your paint, and your water. So you pick a seat, pick wherever you want to go. I will greet you, let you know that I will be your paint and sip instructor today. Once everybody is seated, I give them about 5 minutes. If we're at a place that has food, they can go ahead and order their food, run to their bathroom, do whatever they want to do. And then I go ahead and introduce myself. I let them know that I'm here, give them the rundown of, this is the brush we'll be using, these are the brushes that we have, these are the colors. I let them know my name and so forth, and then we get started and we have a blast.
I'm gonna sign up for one. I'm interested in this paint sip. I'm ready. My paint.
Is there like music and
Yes.
stuff there?
I'm sorry.
Is there music and stuff there?
Yeah, so it's really up to the business. Depending on the business that I'm at, most businesses, like when I'm at a bar or something of the such, they have music there. The one that's on Sunday, the deli, I'm not sure if they'll have music or not. I haven't been to that venue yet, but we're gonna hope, because I work better with music.
Right.
So say like for like if an individual wanted to schedule like a private event and stuff like that, like they're not opposed to that or nothing like that, right?
No,
And then
actually, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask and if an individual was wanting to do that, what would be like the best method on the side of reaching out to you to schedule and all that good stuff, but then also on their side, like possible locations and things like that. Do you have any suggestions on like places to choose or requirements that you
Okay, so actually, if they visit my website, you can actually go to my Tipsy Strokes little tab, and you can book a painting sip directly through my website. It'll give you a calendar, it'll give you canvas options of what you can paint, and it can give you the date. It does let them know that it'll be at their venue, or it allows them to pick where the event will be held, and then they pay for their one ticket. And then once they pay for their one ticket to hold the spot, they'll receive a link, and they can send that link out to whoever they want to invite to their party, and it'll come directly to me, and then I'll be at their event.
Nice, nice. Um, Ballpark on the price range?
So for businesses, it's $30 unless the business does add on for drink. Like sometimes businesses like to add drinks, add sandwiches, complimentary to that. So sometimes the price can be included with drinks as well as my instruction. And then my private parties are $25 a person. And that's everything included with paint, easels, canvases, all of that good stuff. It's $25 a person.
Yeah, I was expecting
That's
it
way
to be
cheaper.
higher
Do
than
you take tips?
that.
Yes, I take tips.
Okay. All right
Yeah.
now. Okay. So overall, I mean, I think this is it's a great thing. Young individual having a business, being inside of a business that is a hobby. I've always kind of said that if you can find yourself a job that you like going to, definitely makes it a whole lot more easier. Get up out the bed and go every single day. Um, do you, if it wasn't painting, do you think there would be something else that you could get that same like love for and drive for?
Yes, I think that if I was not a painter, I'd be a chef.
Okay,
Okay.
good cook. Okay, so then, okay, asking upon that, when you say like slight food things at times could be added upon in an event, is that something that you completely handle yourself too?
Yeah, I feel like if I was I don't know, I would have said to be a lawyer, but I just don't see myself going to school for 8 years after the 4 years of art school. There's no way.
Right.
But I do feel like as I've gotten older and I have kids, the more things I can learn how to cook, the better. And the more times people tell me that they like what I made, I'm like, yeah, I probably could have did that too, or a nail tech, but it would still be considered art, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something I felt I probably should have talked about this a little bit sooner. But something that you had kind of mentioned earlier was basically that kind of like the decision that you made. Eventually, you went to school for one thing and you made that switch. Like in that time, was that a hard switch for you? Like, was that a long process of thinking of like, I don't know. 'Cause, I mean, thinking about it, a lot of people kind of have those ideas of kind of how you said bachelors of fine arts. Some people hear arts degree and it's like, oh, it's immediately no, that's useless or whatever it might
Right.
be. So
Right.
switching to that with that, you know what I'm saying? Regular thought about it in a sense, or stereotype about it in a sense, if you will. Did that in a way make your decision longer?
Um, so I feel like when I made my decision, it was kind of like an easy way out to start. Like I went from being a lawyer to being an artist in school, and I feel like it was like I can already do this, so let me go ahead and do this, thinking that it would be as easy as it has always been, but it was actually pretty tough. And I also didn't really think too much about the stereotypes because I live for myself. I could care less about if they're like, oh, you went to art school, but they're going to go to Walmart and buy the same pictures for their house. So it's kind of like neither here nor there for me. It doesn't bother me. And people are like, are you a starving artist? I think everyone's starving, to be honest. So it's never like, right. So stuff like that doesn't really faze me because obviously I've been in the business this long. So, I feel like to any of the new artists or anybody that wants to do it, without any risk, there's no reward. And sometimes you just have to take the risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in this case, the risk paid off leaps and bounds. Love when they hear. Um, WVU, their arts program, do they have a pretty nice art program?
Yes, I enjoy their professors. I think they do a great exhibition at the end. Like when you're about to graduate, you do have to know how to hang your paintings up. You do have to know pretty much in college, you're going to learn how to build your own canvas, make your own oil paint, pretty much learn your anatomy, your body parts, crazy stuff. You're also going to know how to not necessarily handle your pictures, but you do have to keep them in a portfolio. You do have to keep them put up. You learn all the caretaking things that you would not learn being self-taught, like without the trial and error of learning it.
Just speak on that for a quick second. Was there any professor that stuck out a whole lot to you? And then just for a moment, speak on like the benefits or how much a good professor, like how big of a difference that can.
I think, and I might get some slack for this, I think that to for me to be taught by a professor, an abstract professor isn't going to be able to give me the knowledge that I'm looking for. But that can be the same for an abstract student who is being taught by a realistic professor. So I think that it really depends on the person. My favorite professor, his name was Nejun. He was tough. He would tell you if it was not right, and he was okay with that. But his artwork was to a point to where I wanted my artwork to be. So as I may not agree with his critiques, he might know a little bit more than me. So it does help to listen and not know so much all the time. but it can be, sometimes you do have to go with your own instinct, because again, thinking out the box, that might be the thing that does it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So 4-year degree, right? But,
Hmm.
okay. And then is it just a Bachelor's of Fine Arts, or is there a specific
No, so I have a bachelor's of fine arts, and I am like, my concentration is painting.
concentration in painting? Right. Just for if you know of them, any other inspiring artists out there, can you name any other ones that may be inside of there outside of painting?
Maybe where?
Like specification in a painting, kind of how you got. Was there any other ones in there?
Um, no, I do think that networking within your age range. So, I'm 27. Pretty much everyone that's in my college was somewhat 27, or in my grade, whatever, was 27. I do think that in the art world, there could be less competition and more help. So,
Mhm.
the two people that I named, the Ruth Yang and Maria Dealey, we're art friends. I wouldn't say we're best friends or anything like that, but if I have an art question, I can absolutely go to them. They are more than glad to help me do whatever it is that I need to do. I will say that networking in the art community, I would say for me, has been kind of hard, but I think it's necessary. I think that you should be able to, you know, gain knowledge, get help, be able to attend, you know, more art related things, not just like, when bands are playing, or there should be more physical artwork or more physical community events than just bands, music, live dancing. There has to be some form of, let's get out here and draw. And Jose Rizzo, he does a great job bringing arts to Beckley.
Yeah. I don't know if it was an event of his or not, but I did go to an art show by the college recently, and I do find that their art students in there from time to time put little things on, which I greatly appreciate.
Hmm.
So maybe yourself, maybe any other artists in the area that's listening, maybe a little collab, get a little bit more art show, bring a little bit of extra artistic culture to the area.
Right.
I think it's something that would be great, and
And
something
it
that
would
could be
be
feasible.
right, and it would be nice to not only have an art exhibition, but it would be nice to let the students put it on. Let like
Hmm.
give the students. I feel like college teaches you a lot. College teaches you technique. College teaches you the things that your eyes can see, but college does not teach you what you're supposed to do once you get that diploma. Once that diploma is over, there is no, that's why the starving artist thing forums, or that's why people say like, "Oh, you went to art school." There has to be, and if I lived here, it would be way easier if I lived in town to do things
Right.
that I'm speaking of, because I live in a city, it's Morgantown. There's a
Hmm.
thousand things going on all the time. We
Right.
have big art things happening, but it would be great to let the students curate the art show. Let them put it on. Let them see if they can
Yeah.
do it. See if this is really the direction they want to go in, because painting every day and drawing every day only gets you 8 canvases and 10 drawings, but it does not tell you what
Hmm.
to do with these 8 canvases and these 10 drawings.
Absolutely. That,
So I have a question. What is like your favorite portrait like to do? Is it like a self portrait or is it like a specific picture?
So I've only done one self portrait. I actually need to do a new self portrait. I just don't know what I want to do. I like this show. It's called Portrait Artist of the Year. I would love to go on one day. And they pretty much get to paint portraits of like models, and they have 3 hours to do it and so forth. My favorite portrait to paint is I like to paint clear pictures. Like, I want it to be to the point to where I can see like your pores in your face. Like, I want it to be like that. I don't really mind who I'm painting as long as it's interesting. Like I say all the time, I'll tell my fiance like, they would be fun to paint, or this person would be fun to paint. And obviously he doesn't know what that means, but
Right.
certain people look like they would be fun to paint, or their facial features are so distinct that they would be fun to paint. So I would say that I would like to paint interesting people.
Okay, I like
And I got another question on that one. Now I'm a little bit intrigued.
that.
So things like cartoons, you kind of said on the side of how you started, in a way how you started drawing more was drawing like anime characters and stuff like that. In
Mhm.
times when you see like cartoons or animated movies or things like that that may have been like drawn based at one point compared to how they do it now, do you ever find yourself like critiquing that just because like the artist in you?
So I critique everything. It's actually, I tell everyone this. It's hard being an artist because everything that you do has to be exact. Like at my house, I have two of everything. Like if I get a plant here, I have to have a plant here. Like it's very it can be very annoying to be so to be so precise about stuff like that. But I will say that I do critique stuff like when you mentioned the banana thing, and I know I keep bringing it up because I'm telling you, I'm not the only artist that feels like this. But when we spend 60, so for example, I spend about 60 hours on a portrait, whether that's on my iPad or whether that's painting. It's you're going to get 60 hours regardless. So I feel like I critique a lot of stuff, and then if I see like certain things sell for $8,000 or whatever, I'm like, I wonder how long that took them. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I feel like your time is going to come when your time's going to come. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. If it's God's will, nothing's going to stop it regardless. So as long as I'm making the artwork, I don't really care about what other artwork other people are making, as long as I can create my own.
Mhm. That's the directly goes into being a true artist. So with getting a little bit towards the end, winding down here. So a few things on your side. One, we just go ahead and give a shout out to your business again and your socials, and then uh send us out with a word of encouragement for young artists.
Okay. So again, my name is Cydney and I own Madame Portrait LLC. I'm a portrait artist as well as a paint and sip host. You can find me on Facebook at Madame Portrait LLC. You can also find my my website at www.madame-portrait.com as well. And a word for an inspiring artist: take advice. Take advice at your own discrepancy. Don't like you can listen to it, you can learn from it, you don't have to become it. Just because this artist teaches you to hold your paintbrush this way does not mean you can't hold your paintbrush upside down. So I feel like do what you love to do. If you love to do it, continue to do it. And if anyone says otherwise, show them why you can do it anyway.
There you go. Well, thank you, Miss Cydney. Thank you
Hmm.
for your time. Thank you for the wonderful information. Thank you all the viewers for sitting in for this installment of the summit. Collective Conversations. On this side, y'all go ahead and check out our YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. We give plenty of updates on the things we have going on, and we make posts about new guest speakers we're gonna have on the show. Thank y'all very
Yes, and
much.
thank
Have
you
a
for having me.
wonderful. Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Y'all have.